welcome to episode 35 of the World of Screens podcast. On today's show, reviews for The History of Sound and Avatar, Fire and Ash. Plus, as always, we'll take a look at last weekend at the Australian box office. I am Nick Labarro, the founder and film editor at World of Screens, joined as always by Mr. Peter Gray of the AU Review certified Rotten Tomatoes critic man, TIFF native, interview extraordinaire, the bellwether critic, and a man who is living in a post The Housemaid world, which we will talk more about next week. But this was would you say that was maybe your most anticipated movie of at least in the top three most anticipated for the year?
I think so.
You're a Paul Feig fan.
I'm a Paul Feig fan. And I've, obviously had the pleasure of speaking to him many, many
Of
moons
course.
ago. He's a charming, charming man. Um, it's probably controversial to like Sydney Sweeney, but I'm like, I don't have I know that here's the thing. She obviously hasn't said things which has made everyone go, this is what she said. But I was like, she actually hasn't said anything
You know
bad.
what? It's
So it's
we are
like
not a political show,
we're
but
not. So
I'll
until
say this. Find me a celebrity who hasn't said something fucking
yeah.
dumb or controversial or
So until she
politically stupid.
come yeah, until she comes out and says like I hate gays, I've got really
And you know what?
nothing, you know.
She did The Housemaid, which I for the screening I was in, the gals and the gays
Oh,
were
there's
eating it up.
she knows that
She knows
she
the
knows she
audience.
can't. But yes, I've got nothing against Sydney Sweeney. I'm an Amanda Seyfried fan. Brandon Gleener is absolutely my white boy of the moment right now.
What boy?
And I like, Simple Favor, Gone Girl. I love those sort of films. Housemaid was definitely like ticking all the right boxes. I was very, very excited for it. And yes, now all I'll say is that I've seen it.
Yes,
And I
yes.
mean, if you follow me on socials, you'll see my reaction today and you'll know how I feel about it. But there'll be a lot more to say with the next episode. But
Absolutely.
yes, I'm very, very happy in this post housemaid world. I will say that.
And it's come you saw it at the end of a string of a long week of movies. We're wrapping up for the year now. We had Anaconda, which we will talk about next week as well, because it's a Boxing Day release.
Yes,
And which came off the back of an Avatar Fire and Ash screening, which was
did.
3.5 hours long, which we traveled over an hour to see.
Hmm.
That started later than normal screenings. So
Hmm. Yeah,
we've had a huge week
been a
of
big week,
film
and then I yeah, and
content.
then I've had more interviews that I was expecting. So it's just been a very busy week. It would be nice if the next week will just kind of
I think it will be.
quieten down. I really
Because
hope. I
next
really
week is
hope
Christmas.
next week is that is wild.
That's
That next
wild.
week. It is 6 days till Christmas at the time of this recording.
I know.
That is just
It's that
mental. But it's
it's
it'll kind of be nice to say goodbye to 2025, especially with the last few days
yeah,
of
it's been a rough week. I think that's an understatement as well.
yeah, yeah. And
For
if you don't know what we're talking about, just Google Sydney and
Or
you'll
just
know what we're talking about.
Google the news at the moment. It's just
Yeah,
it's absolutely awful.
yeah.
And in saying that as well, kind of like the movies has been a nice place to get a bit of a distraction from that. Not obviously not that we were impacted by the events of Sydney
No, but
personally, but it sends ripple effects around.
oh,
And
I mean, it's sent ripples to the fact that some like Avatar was scaled back,
yeah,
another intended screening was cancelled.
yeah,
It's hard not to be affected by something like that, but it does. There is a certain comfort in the fact that it's like we can literally go to a cinema and escape.
yeah.
And one of the movies this week was a very long escape. So,
It was indeed. It was
yeah.
indeed. That I think that's going to be a common theme of the two reviews that we talk about this week. Before we get into those reviews, housekeeping as per normal. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. If you can subscribe to the channel, like and comment, it helps get us in the algorithm. Funnily enough, the Ella McKay episode did really well. People wanted to know what Pete and Nick thought of Ella McKay.
I mean, yeah, I think we've both talked about the fact that our Ellen McKay reviews have done
Done
really well.
super well.
It is, and it's like more people are interested in knowing about it than they are actually seeing it,
Watching it.
because we know we'll hear about the Australian box office, but we know the American box office, it did not do well. It What a wild movie that was. It really was like
Just
just
baffling on and off the screen is what
yeah.
Ella McKay is by
Um,
far.
Yeah, like really makes you realize they didn't want to tie down to one particular state or city, because they
Yes.
never mention what, like, where she actually lives.
No.
And Jamie Lee Curtis says to her, "Isn't it amazing that you get to be the governor of the town that you live in and grew up in?" And then it's like,
And you're like,
but what town is that? They
where is
never
that
mention
again?
it. It's so wild that he's just gone, "I'm not going to commit to a state or a city." And I'm like, okay,
Hey. And you
cool.
know what? That's the least of the
The
problems
least of his
with Ella
problem.
McKay.
Yeah. Well, but thank you
But
everyone
thank you for watching
for watching and listening
and listening to it.
to a movie that will probably, you know what, it'll show up on a lot of worst lists, I think.
I believe it will. I
Yeah.
believe it will.
Yeah.
Speaking of listening, obviously on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or if you're on your preferred podcasting platform of choice, if you can subscribe to the feed and download the episodes, that would help. Follow at Water Screens on Instagram. We're currently in the back end of Anaconda and the Housemaid giveaways. We're giving away tickets for both those films that we'll talk about next week, but spoiler alert, we liked them both a fair bit. All of your support is incredibly helpful. Waterscreens.com as well. Subscribe to the emailing list there. Let's review a movie. Two
Okay.
reviews coming together. What else are we here to fucking do? Let's review a movie. God damn it. Let's
I
talk about
wasn't
the.
prepared.
I was like, what else are we gonna do? We just make this up on the fly. We just go, maybe let's review a movie.
Yeah, it was Evan.
Um, let's talk about the history of sound.
My father said it was a gift from God, how I could see music. I thought everyone could see sound.
Across the Rocky Mountain, I walk for miles and miles.
Lionel Worthing.
David White. Across the Rocky Mountain.
Two young men during World War One set out to record the lives, voices, and music of their American countrymen. So, The History of Sound is a period romance drama. It's directed by Oliver Hermanus and written by Ben Shattuck, based on a pair of his short stories called The History of Sound and Origin Stories. And the film stars Paul Mescal and Josh O'Connor. So, I feel like when this came out, I can't remember where it premiered, but I remember seeing the trailer and I kind of immediately thought like awards play. Felt like, it's the period romance film. It's set in against the backdrop of World War II. It's a gay romance film. Paul Mescal, Josh O'Connor, both like hot actors at the moment in both sort of like Josh O'Connor is having a stellar 2025.
Yeah.
Paul Mescal's everywhere. Obviously, his big Oscar play at the moment will be with Hamnet and whatnot. So it seems like, they were kind of pushing for that.
Mm.
And then I think the early reviews came out and everyone was like, it's a period romance drama. And that's about it, kind of where it fell for me. But you saw it a while ago.
Yeah.
Where has it sort of sat in your mind since then? Did it come and go? Has it been lingering? What's History of Sound been like for you?
Yeah, so I saw it, yeah, it was a couple months ago now, because Universal were very kind to give me interviews for it. So obviously I did sort of say like, how about Paul and Josh, eh? And I spoke to Oliver and Ben. Had a really great conversation with them, and it was weird because, like, I'll admit, like, the film isn't exciting to watch. I
Sure.
understand a lot of the criticism for it, because it is a very slow moving film. It feels very purposeful in how it moves. It's like it isn't kind of a it's not I don't want to say it's not a grand romance, but they're not like they don't really I guess they don't really embellish the fact that it's a gay, like it doesn't feel like it's like it doesn't feel like the Brokeback Mountain sort of
Sure.
thing where it's like, oh, it's two men, it's like so scandalous. Like I
Sure.
feel
I
like
agree with that.
because their love was quite incredibly private,
Mm.
it's like it's just the moments for them. And then obviously they go on and they marry women, which would have been a very common thing for men in the 1920s to do who were gay.
Yeah.
I think it's like again, I don't know if it maybe it mattered a little bit more to me because I'm gay,
Sure.
but it's like it was weird. It wasn't a film that lingered with me, but I guess in putting out the interview and putting out the review so recently now, like it has sort of been something that I've like thought about
It's like come back up
before.
again. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I kind of like that it is this very quiet, like ironically quiet movie.
About the history of
Yeah.
sound.
Like I think that history of like collecting songs is really quite
I
interesting.
thought it was interesting as
Um,
well. Like, especially the first probably like 30 minutes of the movie has a very heavy focus on it as
yeah,
well, which I
yeah,
thought was, yeah, an interesting entry point, I guess, into
yeah.
where these guys are, especially Josh O'Connor's character as well. He's sort of, I would say Josh O'Connor's character is probably the far more like sort of confident in himself
Mm,
sort of I always find that I guess in gay romance films you have the guy who's a lot more confident in his personality, in his
mm.
sexuality and things like that, and then you have someone like Paul Mescal who's a bit more reserved and a bit more quiet and who's obviously then a lot more heavily affected by the romance as the
Yes.
film goes
Yeah.
on. I would probably also point out the fact that this is more of a film about longing than it is about romance, I guess, as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, because they meet it's like it's quite a sweet little meet cute that they have,
It's a
like
lovely scene. It's
like Josh
really well
O'Connor.
shot
Yeah,
too.
like
Like
Josh
it's a great
O'Connor's playing
detail.
the piano, Paul Mescal sort of is kind of just immediately transfixed by him. They have this really lovely duet. And
Yes.
then
And then
it's
they
like,
fuck straight away. And I was
yeah.
like,
But also I'm like,
just
that's
getting
just
it
what
done.
it's like that's what dudes
They're
do.
not
Come
fucking
on,
they're not
mate.
fucking around. They're fucking around.
Um And then, they sort of have this moment together, and then
Mm,
Josh O'Connor kind of goes off to war, and Paul Mescal's
yes.
kind of left to, yeah, like really think about what happened. And then they obviously get back together after the war, and they go on this journey to collect songs together. And then, you know, Josh O'Connor kind of disappears again, and it's like literally the rest of the movie is Paul Mescal like almost like what happened
Where did
between
he
like
go and
and he doesn't
what
and
did
it's like
this
kind it's
mean?
really quite sad that he doesn't get that closure until much later
Mm,
in the film. But yeah, no, I agree that it's very much a movie about like a very specific time of romance, but
yes.
the longing effects that has. And you see it with Paul Mescal, and then you kind of realize Josh O'Connor had it the entire time as well, but just
There
really couldn't do anything about it. So it
it
has this almost like retrospective sadness to it when you realize
yes.
like, oh my God, these guys were so in love with each other and they couldn't do anything about it. And Paul Mescal believed that maybe it was one-sided for so long as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that there will be people who will go into this maybe expecting it to be very grand.
Brokeback Mountain, right? Like, yeah, yeah.
Basically, and they'll be disappointed because this movie is it's slow. It takes its time with how it wants to present this relationship. But I also have, I do think there'll be maybe like older queer audiences who will sort of find a lot more appreciation in the fact that it's like, oh, you weren't able to be who you wanted to be so openly.
Mm,
Um, but also you can't deny like Josh O'Connor and Paul Mescal give incredible
they are great.
performances in this. Like we shouldn't be surprised at that. And Chris Cooper has a really beautiful cameo in it as well.
I think that is worth pointing out because it's not really a spoiler, but I guess the third act of the film is a time jump,
Yeah,
and Chris Cooper plays the older version of Paul Mescal's character,
yeah.
and that was a surprise to me. But
Yeah, I
like,
had no idea he was in it. So yeah.
but it leads to two of the best scenes of the film, in my
Yeah,
opinion, which is
yeah.
him listening to a recording of Josh
That was
O'Connor,
that was
and
really
then
heartbreaking.
it is, but it's beautiful kind of at the same
Yeah.
time because, like I said, there's a closure element in that part. And when he's being interviewed on the stage, and you
Mm.
find out a lot more about about where his longing and that desire to
Mm.
why he didn't really like pursue any romance like that again.
Yeah.
And then what the music meant to him
Mm.
in that life, I guess, post Josh O'Connor's character. So there are really touching moments, and I think at its heart, it is a very moving film. I
Mm.
just struggled with the pace. I
Yeah.
it was very
I mean,
very
I was the same. I was like, this is definitely not moving at a, at a speed.
and
But
it also doesn't do, not that it needs to, because I think the, like we said, the entry point of being not this sort of grandeur, like this grandiose gay romance like
mm,
Brokeback Mountain was, and the uniqueness of like the recording of the songs and
mm,
preserving this moment in history. I think they're cool, two very cool, interesting entry points. But I also think just like the relationship itself felt very like I've seen this before
yeah,
in gay and hetero romance stories as well,
yeah,
which I think probably added to that slowing of the pace as well.
yeah,
For me, a little bit anyway.
yeah. No, but yeah, but I like it's not helping itself opening up against Avatar,
And
Um,
also opening like 2 months after it's been out in the
after
US as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
but yeah, I think if you're interested in seeing this film, you should.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I
Yeah.
understand if a 1920 set gay romance movie between two men is not what you want to see.
Yeah.
That's fine, and you don't have to see it. Like sometimes there are movies that are just for a very specific audience,
Oh,
and that's
absolutely. Yeah.
okay. And I think that's what this is. Um,
It's
but yeah, I
beautifully
think
shot as
it's
well.
beautiful
It
to look, and
looks
it's like
outstanding.
I really like the emotional architecture of the
Hmm.
film. I think it's like maybe it's a movie that's more like we've said it before, maybe it's like one of those movies that we appreciate the elements more than actually
Yes,
enjoying the film. But
that's exactly right.
I'm also very much for the fact that like if we can have, if we have these sort of stories that show how normal
Hmm.
gay romance is,
Yeah,
because
yeah, for sure.
you could almost sub out, like you could put a man and a woman in this love story and it wouldn't be terribly
No,
different.
no.
Like a man goes off to war, she pines for him, he comes back, they realize that they can't be like it's
Yeah,
kind of like great,
let's
let's show that
normalize. Yeah, yeah.
let's show how normal two men is together, even though it's like showing how two men couldn't be together
In
really
that time period, for
in that
sure.
time
Yeah.
period. But yeah, no, I think it's still a really beautiful film, but yeah, it's not going to be for everybody. And it'll get unfortunately forgotten.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, if you maybe it'll in a few months it'll Netflix or Prime or something will find it and it'll find like an
Yeah, I
audience
don't
and be
know how
like,
that works because it's a movie film. So I don't know how that
or
works
maybe,
with,
yeah,
it'd be
maybe
interesting to
it'll.
see where it pops up on
Well, I mean, if
the
it's
streaming
movie, then
platforms.
movie. I mean, movie is now
It's
in
available in
Australia,
Australia.
and
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't be surprised if it.
Absolutely a streaming service worth having as
Yeah.
well. If you're
Oh
sick of just scrolling on Netflix and finding nothing, get
my
Critic.
God, I can, as someone like I did a piece about what's coming in January. January movie,
It's
fucking
stacked.
like there's like a David Lynch
Mm,
collective, which is awesome. There's a whole thing dedicated to swimming pools being an emotional or
yeah.
space in films, and you've got stuff like Swimming Pool and After Sun. Like I was like, there's if
Night
you're like
Swim.
if you actually are like a proper like if you properly love
Mm,
movies, Mubi is
it's worth it.
an absolutely amazing service. Like,
Agreed.
you're not going to
It's
find too
awesome.
many places where you can be, oh, do I want to watch The Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie? Yeah, you can on Mubi. Yeah,
Well,
so
mainly as well because Netflix don't put anything that was made before fucking 1970
that
on that
basically,
service. So
yeah. Yeah, so now this has just become a nice little plug for Mubi
it
because,
has, yeah. If
yeah.
anything came from the
But
history of sound,
also history of sound, if you like that, if you were like scrolling through a movie and saw that, you'd be like, oh, like it feel like it's like this is a
it's
very
a
it's an artistic sort of
yes.
movie.
Oh,
It's like it's well,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But no, yeah, beautifully shot, beautiful movie, just moves at its own pace, and
Yes.
that'll be the tell for some people, basically.
I think you put it well when you said it's one that is you can appreciate more than enjoy. I think that's
Yeah,
very much so.
yeah.
The history of sound, which yes, opening this week, we will see how it fares at the
Mm.
box office against the juggernaut that we will talk about after we discuss what happened in the Australian box office last weekend. Top five, supplied as
Yeah.
always by Numero Box Office. We're starting all the way down at number 10, though. Ella McKay made $180,000.
I mean,
It cracked the
I,
top 10.
a part of me was not expecting a top 10.
No,
So,
neither.
yeah.
I mean, and comparatively to everything else that was made in the top five, like terrible, but it made the top 10. So
Yeah.
Ella
How much
McKay's
how
out there
much
fighting the
difference
fight.
how much difference was there between El McKay and whatever number 9 was?
Oh, good question. Let me
Like
get
just to
that up.
see like how successful was it?
Let's see. $70,000, which was Pets on a Train.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
oh, wow,
from
okay.
Umbrella, yeah. To put to a probably better comparison would be it was $200,000 less than number seven, which was Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's a bit of an indicator. Um,
Well, you know what? I was not expecting top 10, so
it's already
take
exceeded our expectations.
take the little win, Ellen McKay.
Amen to that. Number five, astonishingly, $620,000, which is only a $30,000 drop from last week, which is
Wow.
Nuremberg, which stayed at number five.
Hell
That is
yes. That is,
huge.
but that it's the same. That movie had very small drops in the States as well. So it's like
People are coming out for Rusty.
it's really showing that like this is a movie for like grown-ups, and it's
Yeah,
like they're
yeah.
finding out they're like there is movies for us. That's awesome. I
I
love that.
that was my
That's
feel when I put all these in the document. I was like, that is my feel good for the episode. Like that, I can't believe like a $30,000 drop is unbelievable.
that's
It's
n-
basically
that's
retained what it made in
yeah,
the first week.
that's nothing. Like that's really
So
nothing.
good.
Especially when considering like, so many things open each week. And Nuremberg is also a movie that hasn't really had a big
It has
push
a niche
behind it.
audience too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very
Very
happy.
stoked. Very
Yeah.
stoked with that. I might even rewatch it just to celebrate.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll see how it fares next week. Number four is, I believe, an Indian film,
Oh, yeah.
Durandar, which made $1.2 million.
They just these are little juggernauts, these
Every
movies.
time they pop up, we just go,
Yeah.
okay, they
Yeah.
just chuck us. We haven't seen it, haven't heard much about it, but
No.
it's made 1.2 million at number
Crack the
four.
mill.
Number three, Wicked for Good made 1.7 million. It is currently at 27 million in total for its
Okay.
run, which is
I
pretty
know
solid.
I know not it's not outshone
No,
the original's total, which everyone was kind of thinking maybe it would because it had a
I thought
bigger
it might have.
opening, but I think it had a bigger opening, but then it dropped a lot more. But it does make sense because it is the movie that the rewatchability I think isn't as strong because
Especially compared to the first one,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't want to say it's the lesser movie, but it's the
It's a
more
darker film and it's a
darker film, it's
tougher
more
film to
emotional
watch.
film. It does, yeah, you don't have you don't have a popular, you don't have a
No,
Dancing Through Life, you don't have the bigger, poppier numbers. You've got very serious
totally.
movies. But you know what? It's still doing
It's
what it needs to do.
it's
So
made more than enough money that it needs
yeah, yeah,
to be written off as a success.
yeah.
Number two, Five Nights at Freddy's made $1.8 million. So the fans are still out there fighting
Although
the good fight for FNAF 2.
how big a drop was that?
I do believe it was actually quite significant.
Yeah, because I'm
Now
pretty
that you
sure
think about
I'm
it.
pretty sure in the States it was like it's pretty big.
Where are we? Yeah, it was about, so in total it made 2.5 for the whole week,
A week, yeah.
which is just under a $4 million drop.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's a pretty steep
But
drop.
also that movie has already made its budget back
It made it,
almost tenfold. Like
yeah,
it's really done well
and we
for,
will be getting Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
and we will see it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we just gotta hope that it's
I will talk to Josh again.
yeah, and just be like,
uh,
yeah. Anyway.
and number one, no surprises. It is the latest film to make $1 billion in 2025. Zootopia 2 made $3.5 million. currently sitting at a $17 million total
Wow.
Australia. Um, I mean, I no, I don't think anyone's shocked it's $1 billion movie. I'm shocked that I'm still like this outlier who didn't love it as much as everyone else, but that I'm not the indicator of whether something should make $1 billion. So yeah, I mean the people
Yeah.
love it, the critics loved it, so
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It was, I mean, yeah, it was fine.
fine.
It's fine.
I think it's going to be a film that people will look back on in 5 years and go, "Oh, I think I rated that too highly." I think that's what's going to happen with Zootopia 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, like yeah, it could have been maybe it was so long between the first one and the second
Mm,
one. It could have been that we hadn't had like a proper family comedy that,
true. Yeah.
checked all the boxes. But yeah, it was, I mean, yeah, after when I saw it, I was like, okay, this isn't terrible, but I'm like,
No, God no.
I was like, but you guys have you've really hyped this one up. And it
Yeah.
was, and it had its moments, but I'm like,
I
okay.
couldn't tell you much from it as well. Like
Yeah,
it hasn't really stayed within my
I can't
mind.
really remember too many gags or anything.
No. So,
Ooh,
but
excuse me.
it's $1 billion movie. Who fucking cares
Yeah,
what we think?
and we need billion-dollar
We
movies
do.
in the industry. So
Oh,
very
yeah.
happy. We're very happy with billion-dollar movies, regardless of what they are.
Disney having an all right year. This and Lilo and Stitch making $1 billion. They're
Yeah,
okay. Disney's gonna be
and
fine, guys.
and time will tell
Yeah.
if
When
next time.
Zootopia 3 will be AI after their recent investment into open AI. But this is not
So then
happening.
you just change the last two letters and it becomes Zootopia.
Zootopia AI.
Yeah.
I'd watch it just to see what the
Yeah.
fuck they do with it.
Yeah.
But that was the top five at the Australian box office. Thank you to Numero Box Office for supplying that. That's the last one for the year because, like I said, Pete and I are pre-recording a few episodes. So when we return to our normal scheduled programming in about mid-January, you're getting episodes in between, guys. We're not letting you down. Pete and I are just gonna have a little. We're gonna have like a 2 week sleep.
We need a break.
We need a break.
We need a break.
Um, we will be bringing back the box office next year, and I'm sure we'll be talking about the next film that we are
Mm.
reviewing. Will this be another $2 billion hit? We will find out. Avatar, Fire, and Ash.
You cannot live like this, baby. In hate.
If there is something you can do, then you must do it.
Jake and Natiri's family grapples with grief after Netayam's death, encountering a new aggressive Na'vi tribe, the Ash people, who are led by the fiery Varang, as the conflict on Pandora escalates and new moral focuses emerge. So this is a science fiction film directed by James Cameron, who co-wrote the screenplay with Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver. It is the sequel to The Way of Water and the third installment overall in the Avatar film series. Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Stephen Lang, Sigourney Weaver, Joel David Moore, CCH Pounder, Giovanni Ribisi, Dilip Rao, Matt Gerald, Kate Winslet, Cliff Curtis, Edie Falco, Brendan Cowell, Jermaine Clement, and Jack Champion all reprise roles from their other films, with Una Chaplin joining the cast as Varang, the Na'vi from the Fire Tribe. So as much as like initially I was like, we have to drive over an hour to see this film. It's 3.5 hours long. Our screening was starting at 7, which behind the scenes, these movies never start when they're supposed to. There's always like a little bit of stuff we've got to go through first. 3.5 hours long. We did see it in IMAX 3D, and I will say probably the best way to do it if we were going to do that.
Which is very much the reason why we justified
Going.
traveling as far as
yes,
because
yeah.
we were like, look, we're going to see it on a big ass screen with great sound in the 3D, the way that James Cameron intended. So, and I also was fully like, if I don't see this movie at a preview screening,
it's gonna be tough for you to.
It's gonna be tough for me to want to go see it voluntarily, mainly because my schedule is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got to take you've got to take like 4 hours out of your day because in a general screening, you're then pumping out full of half an hour full of ads beforehand.
Yep, yep.
You're seeing it with the general public, and I'm sorry, but some of you make going to the movies very, very difficult. And I'll put my hand up and say we have become accustomed to being quite spoiled at
We
these.
live a very privileged movie watching life. I'm aware.
So I sometimes I'm like, I don't want to see it with a normie. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't. You don't understand that.
We're never gonna beat the privileged white movie going
I'm just like,
allegations.
but some of you need to know
I,
it
I,
isn't your fucking living room.
I agree with that. I think some people
Like
need to rein it the
your phone,
fucking.
like if you can't watch a movie without looking at your phone,
Mhm.
without talking about things that aren't the film, I'm okay with like a comment
Oh,
or
a
like,
general
oh, wasn't
comment or
that cool?
yeah,
That's fine.
we
But if
do
you're
that.
just
Yeah,
having a conversation, get the
which
fuck out of the cinema.
which we have experienced
We
before.
have experienced, and
Which
it's very
also
possible that you've had one of us tell you to shut up.
potentially, yeah. Which also pointing out that the setup at the IMAX at Pacific Fair on the Gold Coast is perfect. You can't see anyone in front of you. It's
No,
barriered behind your seat, so you can't hear anyone behind you. It is
no,
the perfect movie watching.
and obviously at these preview screenings, 9 times out of 10, they're very much stepping up with security, so it's very hard for you
We
to
did
even
have
take out a
security in the
phone.
audience,
Talking
yeah.
about like, I didn't realize at Anaconda, a
Mm.
security guard was standing behind us.
Yes, no, I realized, yeah, yeah.
It
Because
wasn't until I kind of was like, there's something
you can
over
feel a
here,
presence.
and I was like, I
Like,
swear
I
to
hope
God.
it's not a snake.
Yeah, I was like, if this is a fake snake, I swear to God. But I was like, great, more security in
Yeah,
previous
for sure.
screenings. It'd be great if security could be a thing in like all screenings because it would just bring back
Yeah.
this like pre-commentary, pre-influencer, pre-I do movie reviews. Like, no, you don't. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know. This is me being a very grumpy
I
old
was like,
man.
are we talking about Avatar right now?
But either way, um, it was the trip needed to be worth it. The trip was worth it because we saw the film in the best way possible.
Very
Um,
immersive,
yes,
very dynamic, very
makes you
action packed.
realize, okay, when 3D is done well, it's pretty great.
It was fucking incredible, I have
Yeah,
to admit.
yeah.
And
And
the
it's been so
movie,
long since I've seen
yeah,
a 3D movie that I was like, this is why it was
I'm
like, this is
thinking. Oh, I saw Tron actually. I saw Tron Ares in 3D, which was
okay.
good. It was, I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it
I
was
will
good.
say the last
Maybe
3D
The Way of
screening,
Water was the last
yeah,
one.
the last 3D screen, like, so The Way of Water would have been the last, like, proper 3D screening.
Yep.
I did go to see Scream 6 in 40X, which is kind of automatically 3D.
Oh, do you still have to wear, do you wear glasses for that?
Yeah, so this
Oh,
40X Scream 6 screening was in 3D. The
I
3D
mean,
wasn't like, there was
wasn't
never a
great. Yeah.
moment that it was like, oh, the knife's coming.
Interesting.
It wasn't that. But it was kind of like the whole experience. And, naturally, bloodshed or stabbing, you got air pockets
Yeah.
thrown. I was like, wow, when Melissa Barrera stabbing the shit out of Dermot Mulroney, I was like, fuck, okay, I'm getting,
I was like, I get it. All right. She's fucking
yeah.
killing him. Yeah.
But Avatar Way of Water would have been the last, like,
Genuine made for
this is
3D.
this is the made for 3D. So it was like made sense that we would do it again for
Yes.
Fire and Ash. And it really was I mean, understandably, it is a beautifully
It's
immersive
phenomenal.
experience.
It's visually jaw-dropping. Like, and I know that's
Yeah.
overstated now about all three Avatar
But
films, but it is
like
incredible.
when you sort of think like how possibly more like how yeah, am I really going to be surprised by it? You watch it and just go, God
Yeah.
damn it, James Cameron, like
You're
you really
fucking good
you
at what you
really
do.
know this technology.
And
Um
it leads to what I think is and this will be interesting because I know we kind of had different experiences with the film.
mm,
I think it's the most epic Avatar out of the three. I think the
mm,
scale of it is on a disproportionate scale compared to any other action movie. We're kind of like sci-fi action movie.
yeah,
I'd put Dune up there as well, like especially Dune Part 2.
yeah.
But just because something is such a spectacle and such an epic event doesn't necessarily make it a good movie. And this movie absolutely suffers from being the second movie just with fire people,
It yeah, so
which we both
I
thought the second film was very average as well.
we thought the second film was average. Um, watching Fire and Ash, I was like, I'm getting deja vu because
Whoa.
there were so many sequences that I was like, this has happened before.
I think visually, I was like, I think
I
scenes were
like
taken from the second
like
film.
there was a scene with Brendan Cowell where I was like, this is what
On the
happened to
boat,
him on the boat. I was like, that's what happened to him
except
last
now he
time.
just doesn't have an arm anymore. Like, that's the
Yeah.
difference. Yeah, yeah.
So it really like this like Avatar and The Way of Water have always been visual
Mm.
first movies.
Yep.
Um,
They are
Avatar
spectacle films.
Avatar is Fern Gully,
Yep. Yep.
or it's Pocahontas, whichever
Pocahontas.
way you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
look at it. Way of Water, I was like, yeah, it's visually it's amazing. It's
It's
got some great
doing a
act.
lot more world building. It's
Yeah,
just, it
and
also
then
just didn't focus on the right characters.
yeah, and for this one, this was definitely the first Avatar movie where I was really, really paying attention to. I was like, this
Mm.
script is awful. Like
Okay,
it's so basic.
it's funny you say that because I rewatched Avatar and the Way of Water
Yeah.
in the weeks leading up to it. The dialogue is awful. The
Okay.
dialogue in all the films is fucking
Like
terrible.
I haven't, so I put my hand up. I have not rewatched Avatar or The Way of Water since seeing them in the cinemas.
Right.
So Avatar, I was probably one of those things where you just get immersed with the technology
Yep.
that you
Yep.
kind of forget about the
And
script.
but like the action is really good and
Yeah,
it's intense and it's hard to not be completely engulfed
yeah.
in the world of it all for sure.
Yeah. And The Way of Water, I just remember being like, yeah, this is a very average story. This is a
Yep.
script that isn't inspiring much, but god damn it, if it isn't amazing to look
Another
at.
spectacle. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this one really, I like, there were just lines of dialogue that I was like, this is shit.
Oh, it's yeah, there is some
this
bad
is
dialogue.
just exposition because it's almost
Which
like
is the first two movies, yeah.
it's almost that thing where it's almost like James Cameron has been like, well, people might be on their phones in the cinemas, so I better make all
I
the
better
dialogue.
explain it.
So, yeah, but there's no denying, like, Sam Worthington's actually good in this movie.
Yes, I want to talk about that more.
I don't think he's been particularly good in the other ones.
I wouldn't say he's been great, no.
He's not the strongest person in this, but I
No.
was like, admittedly, he does some all right stuff. Zoe Saldana is the emotion that she puts into this is insane.
As
She is
she has for three
phenomenal.
Avatar films, yeah.
We all like to pretend that the Amelia Perez Oscar was for the Avatar movies. She's very sad in this. Like,
Well, yeah,
it's
she's a
like,
grieving
wow,
parent,
she's a
right?
grieving
Yeah,
parent. Jack Champion, you're still 12 years old. It's really quite concerning because you're now no longer that young.
yeah.
He's strapped with some terrible dialogue, so it doesn't help. Um, everybody else kind of like
I'll say Stephen Lang. I think he's actually a great villain.
Stephen Lang,
He's
like,
just got that masculine macho man fucking
yeah,
energy that
and it's
works
like
for the
it would
his
be nice if
Quaritch.
Stephen Lang is able to not be a villain in something, like
I
just to
know he
see what
just
he's
does it
like.
so
He
well.
does it so well. I will say he did a movie called Braven with Jason Momoa where he's like a dad kind of dealing with dementia, and
Oh shit.
he's
Okay.
actually not the villain in that, and he's really it's like quite sweet.
Okay.
But everything else, you like Conan, Don't
Oh,
Breathe 2, Sisu,
Sisu too.
yeah.
Yeah. Una Chaplin too.
Una Chaplin. Like,
Great addition.
I will admit, if Una Chaplin wasn't as dynamic as she was,
Mm.
this movie would have been even more of a struggle to
I
watch.
agree because Varang's actually quite
She's
a
a very
bland
important
villain.
character.
Important character, played very well,
Yeah.
but doesn't really do much until like really far into the film.
Yeah, but she brings like it's like really this is like pun no intended, but she really does bring a fire to this movie. Like she
Oh,
is so
there's
dynamic. She's
there's
so
this sensual
like
energy that she
yeah,
utilizes to like corrupt Quaritch, which is fucking brilliant.
yeah,
She's basically a witch, and there is a point where
yeah,
she is using fire with her hands.
yeah,
It's won't spoil like how that happens, but like she has this sort of like spiritual, sensual energy about her that oozes through her physicality and through the
yeah,
way she talks to people.
yeah,
And she's a great addition. So yeah, I would agree. I think Sam Worthington's best he's been in the trilogy. Zoe Saldana's anchoring this all down. Stephen Lang, Una Chaplin, great villainous duo. Jack
yeah,
Champion, not that great. The other kid's not that great. The biggest crime, the biggest fucking crime this film commits is having Sigourney Weaver play a 14-year-old girl who talks like this.
Yeah,
I am
it's
a normal teenage Navi girl. I love them all, mother. Like that's lit, and I'm like, I can tell it's fucking Sigourney Weaver, who I'm
it
assuming is
is.
probably in her 70s now. Hey, and you know what? Sigourney looks fucking great for her 70s.
Oh, and
Doesn't
also
Not a 14-year-old girl.
we love Sigourney
I
Weaver.
love
Don't get us
Sigourney
wrong.
Weaver.
But no,
Ripley forever.
it is it's a very awkward delivery because it's like
I
that's not
must connect to the
yeah,
All Mother. And I was like, Jesus
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, like
It's
it's
terrible.
and then like the annoying thing is like so there's so many stories in this movie that like don't feel like they're given like there's all these story strands.
Everyone's got a subplot.
Some of them are completely unnecessary. But the annoying thing is there are some of them that are like these are actually genuinely interesting or these actually do a lot to service the plot, but you're not given any time or they're not given any like so like Zoe Saldana's whole thing is that she's very distrustful of the humans.
Yeah.
So she feels a certain type of way about the fact that Jack Champion, who we won't spoil it, but there's a reason why he's able to exist in the
Yeah.
Avatar world
Well, because
without
she's already pissed off by the fact that Jake is kind of not moved on. He's still grieving the death of his son, but he
yeah,
looks after Spider like his own son, despite
yeah,
being the son of Quaritch, the guy responsible for killing her son.
yeah.
So
So
her grief is incredible, but it's the relationship between Jake and Natiri that was the most interesting part of the film that
yeah,
gets like 10
just
minutes of screen time at the beginning and
yeah.
then nothing like they didn't even explore the most interesting parts of these characters.
And then even like she even sort of talks about like we need to kill Spider. Like that's how
Yeah,
we
that's how
and
fucking intense it
and
gets.
that's insane because you just you have been a mother to Spider.
Hmm.
Then when your actual son dies, you look at Spider as like my son might not be dead if it wasn't for
For
you sort
him,
of
yeah.
thing. So like that's so interesting, that's so emotional, and it's just given nothing in the film. And then the same with Varang, like
Hmm.
her whole thing is like she's angry at Awa, who is like this spiritual sort of mother
Yeah,
to
she's the all mother
Pandora.
of Pandora, yeah.
She's like, you didn't save my tribe when we were overcame by a volcano.
Volcano, yeah.
So she has this like anger towards Awa.
Yeah.
And then that's also not really like super explored until it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's not necessary until it is.
Yes.
And by the time it becomes necessary, it's like you've wasted all of our time with whales
Yeah.
and people that we don't really care about. And you've probably got three really, really strong plots that can all work
Yep.
in parallel to each
Yeah.
other and actually fuse in one, like towards the end.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And you don't give us that. Like you
But
spend too much time on other stuff. And for a movie that's 190 minutes, like
yeah.
you've
But
got the time to do that.
here's to make you even angrier with that point. These are all things that were already established and explored in the second film.
Yeah.
So, and the movie doesn't, this
Like
third film
expand
doesn't
on it. Yeah.
expand or advance it.
It
It's
literally like
just,
it very much is like if you haven't seen Way of Water, that's okay
you can
because
just
you can
watch
just
Fire
see
and
Fire
Ash.
and Ash. Yeah.
If I had to hear one more time in this film the fact that this outcast whale has been forbidden from his fucking tribe, I was going to lose my mind. And the funny thing is, I'm going to sit here at the end and go, this is probably my favorite Avatar in the trilogy
Yeah.
because the action is the best,
The
the
action
scale
is
is fucking
yeah.
epic. The storylines that I enjoyed, I really was immersed into. It's Sam Worthington's best performance as Jake. Like
Yeah.
there was so many elements where I was like, this is a 5-star spectacle experience with a 2-star story.
Basically, yeah.
And that sucks, but at the same time, it's like I got to witness some of the coolest visual stuff I've ever seen in a film of this
Yeah.
size and scale. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sitting here being like, I've given every Avatar film 3.5 stars
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's kind of what they are. They are revolutionary evolutions of cinema in a
Mhm.
technical aspect. It's Big Jim doing what Big Jim does best,
Yeah,
fucking epic action and scale.
yeah,
But the stories just suck. And the fact that he spent 2 decades and more of his life on this to not just make the same film twice, but not learn from any of the mistakes from the second film
yeah.
is
Like
it should be a crime against cinema, but it's not because he's
it's
James
not.
fucking Cameron and
And
both
it,
those movies made $2 billion.
yeah, and like that's it'll always be a weird thing of like everybody this like the opening global opening weekend for this is like in the between 300 and
It's like
350
yeah,
million
three
dollars.
fifty billion, a million, I thought. Yeah,
Um I saw photos on X of like people lining up in this so and it's like but it's so weird and everyone's like, "Huh, and the joke is that they have no cultural impact." But I'm like, "But they actually don't."
but
Like,
yeah,
yes, these movies make so much money, but I was like, "But nobody fucking talks about these
the staying
movies."
power of them is not
Yeah,
that
there's
strong.
no
No,
saying I'm like no one is rewatching
but do
these
you
on a constant level. But
this franchise, the dichotomy of this franchise is astounding because
yeah,
I had a mate message me. I had a group chat golf today, which is called Cricket and Golf,
right.
which you can imagine what we would talk about in that chat. It's nothing to do
Cricket
with
and golf.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Guy messaged me and said, I saw Avatar, like Nick, I saw Avatar last night. It's my favorite in the series. And then the next message to come after that is like, no spoilers, bro. I'm seeing it tonight from a different person.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going, like, I don't even talk to these guys about movies. They're
Movies.
good mates of mine, and we
Yeah.
hang out and we play golf and watch cricket, like, as boring as events as they are. Movies rarely come up.
Yeah.
But
And they
Avatar was the fucking one where it's
it,
crazy.
it's wild. Like, yeah, it's just like it has these few months of everyone seeing it, and then they
Yeah.
just die off. And these movies stay at the top of the global box office, and
Yeah.
then but no one talks about it, or
No
no
one
one
talks
says
about it.
like I've gone, oh yeah, like I saw Avatar, and then like I took my parents, or I took my friends, or I took my girlfriend, or I took my part.
Mhm.
Like you just don't hear it.
No,
It's so
it's
bizarre that this
baffling.
movie makes so much money and has so much hype,
Yep.
but then that doesn't seem to translate to actual conversations about it.
Yes,
Like
I agree. Yeah.
it's so weird. Like
Outside
I,
of the film sphere, I guess
yeah,
is yeah.
it's really quite it's almost impressive that
It really is.
these movies are this moment that just don't last, but they have the kind of money that movies you feel like, Star Wars movies, Avengers movies, like Disney, like
Yeah.
they all just stay in conversation somehow. Avatar just
Comes and goes.
is just there.
Yeah.
Like, and like when you talk about James Cameron movies, you talk about like Aliens and Terminator and True Lies and Titanic. Like
Titanic, yeah.
Avatar rarely comes up as one of like the first James Cameron movies you think of.
But it was featured in the cinematic montage in Babylon. Therefore,
It really was.
everything you said is wrong, Pete, because
Very,
Babylon
you know what?
sits.
Fair. But yeah,
Damien
it's
Chazelle disagrees.
just like
It's baffling. No, it's you're
and
100% right. It's truly baffling because we only talk about Avatar and I only watch Avatar when there's another Avatar movie
Avatar.
coming out.
Yeah.
And I will watch them again if this
When the-
fourth one gets made.
Yeah.
Big Jim
But
doesn't seem to want to do it, and that's fine.
which is fine because you know what? I mean, he has now said that he's gonna do Terminator, and I'm like,
I mean, he's
We-
also just yeah.
yeah. But I'm
He'll
like,
do
if
everything.
he wants, but I'm like, we don't need another Terminator.
No, we don't need
But-
another Avatar.
We don't need another Avatar. If you're gonna, Jimmy, if you're gonna revisit any of your movies, you give us a True Lies 2.
I was going to
That's
say
what you
Titanic
do.
2. No, True Lies 2 would be
True
very
Lies
special.
2. That's what you give us.
Jamie and Arnold? Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis wants to do it. Arnold
Arnie will do it.
Schwarzenegger, come on back. Like we need that's the sequel you do.
That'd be
That's
a really fun movie.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
Yeah.
shocked that hasn't had some form of like reboot or reimagining
Well, but I also feel like in some ways, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith is
It's a
is
good
sort of
point.
like I feel like any like nobody like I feel like any movie where there's like secret agent that the family doesn't know about, it's almost a True Lies
Do you know
version,
what I
but
was thinking about the other night that I haven't watched in a long time? Long Kiss Goodnight.
which is
Banger film.
but it's also now it's like number 10 on I think on Netflix
Is it actually?
because Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie.
Very much. Yeah, okay. There
Yeah.
we go. Well, I know what
But
I'm watching tonight.
banger, banger movie.
Great film.
And
Absolute banging.
reminds you when Rennie Harlan would make good things.
Decent things.
And Gina Davis, absolute boss.
Great film.
Great
I
film.
love that at any opportunity we've taken to not talk about Avatar, we've done it for this.
Yeah, we're like long kiss goodnight and fucking get off your fucking phone. Oh yeah, go see Avatar because you need us to tell you to see it. Like
That's the thing.
that's
Like
the
this
thing.
review means nothing because people.
Yeah.
No, sorry, it's not saying it doesn't mean
Doesn't mean
nothing.
nothing,
But
but
people
like
have made up their minds as to whether
yeah,
they'll watch Avatar. When I was watching the first one at home, our roommate slash landlord Braden walked past. He said, "This looks like a fucking video game." He was just not into it, and I was like, "And that's fine. He will never watch an Avatar film."
which
However,
is
there are $2 billion worth of people out there who will.
I'm like, what age bracket is Brayden?
He's 30, yeah, same age as me.
Okay, because it just
He
makes
so
me
he
think
saw the
like,
first one in cinemas.
oh, okay, because it just makes
He
me sort of
totally did.
right, okay,
But
because
I
it just
was
sort of
watching
makes me
it
think
in
like maybe
4K
there's
HDR.
yeah,
Fucking yeah. It,
it
it
just sort
looks
of makes me
very
think
different
like
at home.
maybe the people that didn't experience Avatar in the cinemas are they sort of the ones that are like, I don't get it, maybe,
Potentially, potentially.
you know,
He doesn't
like
like sci-fi though. He's very, and I love teasing about it because then I'll just start putting on all my sci-fi movies and
sci-fi
shows, and
movies, right?
because they're the best. Well, that's. I mean, I don't have anything else to add, but Avatar: Fire and Ash. It's for me the best in the trilogy, but that's also like it's not saying a lot because I don't think this is a fantastic trilogy, but I've appreciate. That's the common thing in this episode. Movies that are too long and you can appreciate them more than you like them
Um,
in certain aspects.
but the controversial, I rated History of Sound higher than Avatar.
And that doesn't shock me. I think by the way you've spoken about both those films
Yeah,
today, that
and
doesn't.
and look, if before comments come out being like, "Well, you would because you're gay,"
Yeah,
like,
we've had the gay movie and the fucking straight man movie
but I'm
together.
like,
Yeah,
you need to know some of the action movies that I fuck with for starters. So it's got
Mhm.
nothing to do with the fact
You
that it's
shouted out True Lies. You
yeah,
know what you're
it's
talking
got
about.
nothing to do with History of Sound
Okay.
being what it is. It's a case of it could go up against like Avatar could have gone up against anything, and I would
Anything.
probably think it was better because Avatar to me, this was I like. I've always said you strip back the visuals of Avatar, and what are you left with? This was one. This was
Permanently.
like this was really like I this one. I was like I noticed the awfulness of the script a lot more.
Yeah,
I was noticing how much it felt like it was recycling a lot of itself.
agreed.
So
Agreed.
I was like, yeah, like it's still a like, and I was saying it's a visually beautiful
Yeah,
film, and it's like it's absolutely a movie you see on the big screen, and if you see it in 3D, you'll be
even
like
better.
immersed. But also like, don't be surprised if you walk out of it and also like, I don't remember a lot about what happened. And if you actually sort of, if you pay attention to some of the lines of dialogue, you'll actually go, the gay guy was right.
Put it on the poster. The
Yeah.
gay guy was right.
Words straight men don't exactly want to hear, but
But they've been uttered
they
because
have been.
we're a progressive podcast here.
Yeah.
We're progressive
Yeah.
at the world screens. That was Avatar, Fire, and Ash, and that is another episode of the World of Screens podcast come to a close. Thank you for listening as always. As said, Pete and I are going on a little break for a couple of weeks, but we will still have an episode each week because we have watched every movie that is coming out on Boxing Day and New
Mhm.
Year's Day in Australia. So we're going to pre-record those and put those out as per normal. Movies on those episodes. Well, next week's episode, let's talk about that. Boxing Day, a huge day of cinema releases in
Big day,
Australia.
huge.
Here's what we will be talking about: the SpongeBob movie, The Search for SquarePants, Sentimental Value, Rental Family, Anaconda, and The Housemaid. 5 movies for Pete and I to talk about. 5 movies you can go see over this Christmas period. If you want to follow what Pete and I are doing, which I'm assuming we'll probably be staying away from social media a little bit as well, but you might see some of our Christmas festivities up on there. Where can people find you on the internet, Pete?
At rated PDG on Instagram and X, Rotten Tomatoes, GRAY. I have gotten up to date on
Yes,
Letterboxd.
yes, this is we've been pining for this for months now,
Well,
but he
I
has done it.
still need to update my 2025 list, but
Sure, sure.
my diary of everything I've watched in the year is up to date. I've just got to add in obviously Housemaid.
Housemaid.
So you can follow me on that. And obviously the aureview.com for interviews and reviews galore. What's gone up recently? Christmas recommendations.
Nice.
Some of the
Nice.
weird ones, some of the weird ones, some of the very expected ones. I wrote about why Brandon Scalina would make a good Bruce Wayne in the new DCU
More on
because
that next week.
and I'll have interviews for Rental Family as
Hey,
well.
that's right.
And and then New Year's will be the Coral. But for Boxing Day, I'll have a really, really, really great interview with two of the stars of Rental Family, as well as my brief chats with Hikari and Brendan Fraser.
How
So yeah,
good.
good times.
Good times indeed. And you
And if
find
they
me
want good times, Nick, I'm sure they can follow you.
onlyfans.com/NixFlixFix. You don't want to go there. No, but where you could
They're all,
go.
I was like, oh, it's Nick's feet pics.
Oh, it used to get joked around that it could be Nick's Dicks
Dick
Flicks
pics. Yeah,
or
yeah,
Dick's Picks. Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's always a funny one.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that one before. um, but if you want the safe for work versions of my social media, Instagram, X, Letterboxd, TikTok at Nick's Flicks Fix. Obviously, worldofscreens.com. Head there and subscribe. And novastream.com.au. I have got an hour's worth of My Hero Academia, the final season interviews to go through. That was a really cool set of interviews, and we'll be working on our 28 years later interviews, which we've
Yeah.
already done,
Yeah.
which is incredible. So a lot going on all over the place.
And plug 0 to 100
It's coming back.
coming back.
It is coming back.
We had a big old break, but it's like we realized, look, we sat through all the shit ones.
We've got to keep it going.
Let's get through the good ones, and like there's going to be some really, really good. Plus, also, I know there's some movies that Nick hasn't seen that I'm like, I want Nick to watch it, and this will be the reason for him to watch it.
It's a good excuse to get me to watch.
So that'll be in the new year.
Yes.
It'll be fully updated artwork. It'll be all the brand new spanking.
How exciting!
Yeah.
Very keen.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're in the back end of it now. We got to finish what we started.
We got to finish. I was like, we can't watch Alone in the Dark and then be like, you know what? Let's not watch like Mulholland Drive. Fuck it, you know? Yeah.
Which is maybe potentially on the list and maybe something I haven't seen. Who knows? We're not going to confirm or deny.
I mean, we won't deny it.
We won't deny it. But thank you again for listening. Hope everyone has a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. And I don't know.
Yeah. Happy Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler. Happy Christmas.
We'll see you on the next episode of the World of Screens podcast.
Bye.